Portland International Raceway in Portland, Oregon. This is Terry Jackson speaking along with Robert Jackson. We will be showing you scenes and people deeply involved in the whole process of preparing and racing these IMSA GTP prototype race cars. A race weekend typically starts early Friday morning and continues through the Sunday afternoon. Though quiet in the stands, the pits are far from being empty. What goes on behind the scenes contributes greatly to the success of a winning team. In the pit and in the paddock, the race can be won or lost. We hope that you enjoy this show, and now over to Bob.
Well, Terry, these prototype race cars cost upwards of $250,000. This weekend we will see Jaguars, Porsches, Nissans, Corvette, Ford Probes, Buick Marches, plus many Camelite, Firebirds, and Argos. When the Jags won Daytona in January and placed second in February at Miami, people thought it would be a Jaguar takeover from Porsche. Not so. Enter the year of the Nissan. They have won 6 successive races in a row, with Jeff Brabham driving the number 83 Nissan GTP ZX Turbo.
There's Jeff Brabham looking very relaxed this morning. This driver is a very good driver, and he's also a very nice man. Met him last year. He was gravely disappointed about losing the race after leading so good in this race. And there he is suiting up with his two-way radio helmet.
You notice he's got a Nomex race suit on there. That's fireproof in case there's a fire in the car, he won't catch on fire.
Yes. I see he's getting into his car. It's a very hard car to get in these prototype cars, and you have to twist and contort. The seat fits around you to absorb all the G-forces and heavy cornering.
You were in a car this morning, Terry. How did you fit in it?
You have to twist and turn and put your feet up on certain parts and just slide right in like a good fitting boot.
Not like the everyday car you see on the street.
No, there's no slop in this. I see the BF Goodrich Porsche. Bob Wallach's driving down pit lane now.
What a beautiful car.
It sure is. The lines in those Porsche 962s are incredible. I think the designers really must have fun designing.
Watch him go up in the air jacks, Terry. Here he goes.
That's quite something, the air jacks, isn't it, right?
Yeah, that way they can change the tires.
There's Martin Brundle's Jaguar number 60.
Yes, here it comes. Brand new car this year.
Well, they're nice too. They're quite different design. See, they're out there just adjusting something.
Yeah, well, they're normally aspirated V12. They don't have the turbochargers like the other Porsches.
Right.
Watch them take off the daggets. Those are the back wheel covers. More aerodynamic. It's going to change the tires.
Yes, I see the tires are probably just getting scuffed, ready for the race.
Let's go talk to Carl, the Jaguar mechanic.
Okay, I'm talking to Carl here, one of the mechanics on the Jaguar team there. Carl would just point out the interesting things that the general public would like to know about these kind of racing cars here now. Carl, you could just show us what kind of things you think the public would like to see.
Well, your engine is based on a production V12 block. It shares basically the same bolt spacings as the original car. That's about where it ends. Everything else is made purely for racing. It puts out 6 liters, about 700 horsepower. They run a 5-speed gearbox. I don't know what else to say. The car weighs in at.
I noticed the exhaust system. Most of the cars are turbocharged. This one has a straight exhaust system. What do you think about this system as opposed to turbocharging?
Well, that's part of the rules. One of the nice things about IMSA is that it opens up the cars to a lot of different engine variations. Okay, turbocharged runs 3 liters. Right. Okay, we run 6, which is normally aspirated. You don't know how close you are.
Right.
Another interesting point is the chassis is all carbon fiber. Okay, it doesn't really have much steel or aluminum in it. The engine weight dictated that the chassis had to be built that way in order for us to meet the minimum weight requirements.
Wanted to ask, is that hard to repair if it's damaged, the carbon fiber?
Actually, it's a lot easier to repair than aluminum chassis. And basically, it's just put a new piece over it and glue it in place and wait for the glue to go off.
Right.
It's very, very stiff and very strong.
Yeah, is this a little oil cooler on the side here?
Yeah, there's one on either side to cool the oil. We got another cooler for the gearbox, another cooler for the fuel, and then the radiator up front.
Good. And these little scoops here, these are for...
They're for brake cooling. Yeah, the brakes, here they don't get too hot, but they can get up to about 600 degrees, 700 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it could become a problem, I guess, if a lot of braking under a heavy race.
Yeah, this place they only use the brakes twice, and actually we're having problems keeping them warm enough.
Keep them warm enough?
Yeah, they're so large that in order that's why they went with carbon fiber all the way. You can see
Notice the acceleration of the Martin Brundle Jaguar, 0 to 100 in 5 seconds.
Yes, they're really fast cars. Here we have, looks like Cyril Vandermeer and his Corvette GTP. I think let's go talk to him in the pits. Okay, I want to ask you, Cyril, what are your plans for this weekend here?
Well, we're really just trying to do as well as we can. We're running against the Nissan, which is just super quick this year. And I think everybody is at this point in time racing for second or third place.
I remember last year and the year before, the Nissan came very close to winning, but reliability problems forced it out. Is there a chance that could happen, you think, again?
They've been so reliable this year. I think they've really just done their homework so well. And the car's working so well, they've got good drivers. I think it's unlikely that anything will go wrong, but it's motor racing. Anything could happen.
Right. How's your season been so far this spring and summer?
Well, we started off pretty slowly. The car wasn't that good. But we've managed to do a lot of changes to the chassis, which is very good now, and we're slowly getting the power we need. We're still down about 50 horsepower on where we want to be. But it's getting better.
Is it, they have different setups, both cars, and one's got a V8 and a V6 in it?
No, they both have V8s.
V8, yeah.
So they're really pretty close to being identical at the moment.
Yes. So has there been many changes over the last winter? Do they change that often?
Basically, chassis changes. We've made quite a few chassis changes, different springs, different bodywork, as you can see, and just been improving the chassis.
And with the car, the reliability in the Corvette's there, and the speed's there, and I guess the chassis changes. Let's hope for the best this weekend that the Nissan is off somewhere else early in the race.
That's about all we can hope for. Thank you.
Right. Well, I want to thank you and success to you this weekend. Thank you. Why don't we look at brakes here? Brakes are a very important thing, as well as going very fast. On some of these corners, you've got to be able to brake really well. You notice that the discs here are very large and ventilated. The holes drilled through them to stop gas from building up there to cause brake fade. What do you think of those brake discs there? They're quite mammoth, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very large. Look at this car here. You'll notice that it's got twin calipers on it. Not all cars have those. Why do they have those?
Well, twin calipers, I guess this increase braking coming from 180 down to 30 miles an hour. I see they're using an orbital sander just to take the glaze off the brake rotors here.
Let's notice those colors on the side of the rotor. That's for the brake temperature. The hotter it gets, you can see on the indicator. Is that true?
Yes, this is quite a science in auto racing now. Everything is calculated and just measured very much. I believe that's the Jaguar front rotors, and they're taking out the front pads. What they do at the start of a race is a lot of times put a set of pads in, take a few laps, bring the car in quick, take the pads out, just to bed them in so that when they start the race on Sunday, that car is braking right in the first lap.
Wouldn't that be nice if you could change them so quick at home? Just pull them out and just a twist of something and put them on. There's only a bolt holding them on, that's all.
Well, I really believe that all this technology coming from these cars, we will see in street cars in the next, maybe even 2 years, who knows, because it just makes it much more easier to work on.
One bolt, that's all it's holding it on.
Yeah, that's great. I see there's different systems. This one here's got a clip, and it's even faster. You know, just why make it so hard for your normal mechanic?
Well, they say Ford has a better idea. This is the 1985 Ford Probe.
This is the Ford Probe. Well, maybe we'll see this pretty soon on a street probe. Oh, they changed more pads there, and look how thick the pads are. Just the heavy wear. I do believe they're softer pads, materials, so that there's not so much brake effort.
This is the Dyson Porsche. Notice the twin rotors on there if you can get a better angle on it. There's Pat Smith looking at it.
Yes, I think I can see him. The rotors are quite something. That's Nissan rear end, I believe. And Here we see the color temperature bars again, just getting
There's Jan Lammers being interviewed by ESPN.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea if we have a talk with him.
Yeah, that'd be good. He just won Le Mans a month ago in June, didn't he?
Yes.
Hey, this is Jan Lammers racing Jaguar. What number is your Jaguar, Jan?
Mine is number 61.
61. I understand you had a very successful race in France this year, Le Mans.
Yes, Le Mans went perfect for us. It was a big battle with the Porsches, the works team, and the battle was for 24 hours. In the end, we finished about 2 minutes apart, so it was a good win.
Well, that must have felt really good after 24 hours of slugging away at it, working very hard.
Well, it was after 24 hours, but basically for Jaguar it was after 32 years, so or 31 years, something like that.
I guess it must have been a big party after that.
Oh yeah, it was good. Normally you win races, which means a lot to yourself and not a lot to anybody else. But this was really, it meant a lot to me, but also I saw that in England everybody was so enthusiastic. It was really nice.
Well, it's really good to see you out here with your full team. And how do you expect to do at Portland this year?
It's a bit difficult. We are facing a very strong opposition from the Nissan, which, you know, they won the last 6 races, so that explains enough. So we just have to go back in the kitchen and think something out and change something. But it's not something which we can change short term. It just it takes a little bit longer.
So I guess it's what you call real competition now in this series.
A lot of competition. For us, a little bit too much at the moment, but we're working on it.
All right, you're pushing everybody to the wire, and I guess that's going to change the technology quite a bit.
Yes, I mean, that's a good thing for the customer, you know, the consumer on the road, that we just try to find all ways to go quicker, so eventually it will be fed through on the cars on the road.
Can you tell me the difference between WC and IMSA class? What were the different cars?
It's little differences. For example, here we have a ride height rule. The car can only be so much off the ground, which means that you don't have so much ground effect. So it keeps the cornering speed a little lower and allows you to pass a little bit more with other cars. The other thing is that we are running a 6-liter engine here versus a 7-liter in Europe, which is about 120 horsepower difference. That's about it.
How do you like racing in America?
I enjoy it very much. The attitude here is pretty relaxed and all that. We still try to put up a good effort, of course, to win races, and we put a lot of energy in it. So we try to make it exciting for the spectators and enjoyable for ourselves too.
Well, I'm really looking forward to Sunday and to the best people who win there. I see you guys are really putting your energy out there, and I'm not going to get any predictions now. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
This is Rob Dyson's Porsche 962.
Yes, the 962 is a really interesting car. It's been in production by the Porsche factory since 1984.
Yeah, that's an Andal prepared race engine. It's a 6-cylinder, horizontally opposed, approximately 700 horsepower.
It's 3 liters turbocharged. In the IMSA series, they had them limited to 3 liters.
That piece of bodywork on the back there they're putting on weighs about 50 pounds, maybe a little less than that, but cost almost $12,000.
Well, the cost, I think, is the construction is carbon fiber with Calbar, which is expensive material, very strong.
Yeah, it's held on by probably 3 or 4 clips, and at 200 miles an hour, if one of those clips was put in right, the body could go flying. Probably cause damage to the car, spectators, or who knows.
I see we're looking at the pits of Dyson team here as Mark, the crew chief, is working on the suspension part beneath the turbocharger and the intercooler.
No, Pat Smith's the crew chief.
Look at you see Price Cobb there giving instructions to one of his crew members.
Well, apparently they're using stock brake shoes.
Bob Wallach exiting the pits at a high speed, and Chip Robinson in the Miller Highline. I do see minor differences. Each car has different aerodynamic appendages, whether it's wings or front dynoplanes.
Well, these cars all come stock from the Porsche factory in Germany, but everybody modifies them to their
That's
own
John
taste.
Graham that just went on.
Canadian John Graham.
You can see these cars handled very well, and They're very well known for endurance racing. Nobody could beat, until this year, the Porsches in Le Mans.
Well, I think, Terry, maybe we should go talk to Peter Schmidt of Porsche Racing in North America.
I'm going to talk to Peter Schmidt of Porsche Motorsports. Hello,
Yes.
Peter.
Hi, how are you?
Very good.
Okay, we are here at the Porsche operation for Porsche AG in Germany. We're handling all the motorsports activities in the United States and taking care of the problems of our customers. We're giving technical service and also part service.
Handle the Porsche Racing Challenge in Canada?
No, this is not handled by us. This is handled, as far as I know, from Porsche in Canada.
I see.
It's a special division for this particular event.
Yes, they're all the 944s. And
Yes.
You're the 962s. Can you give me some information on the 962s?
Sure. Yes.
How old basically is the design in the car?
Well, the car is, the 962 is a sub-design of the 956, which was originally designed for Europe. In 1982 is when the car was designed. And we got it over here the first time in 1984, and when it ran the first time in IMSA. And since then, we run basically the same car. Our customers have done an exquisite work in doing their own research and development program on the car, and I believe our car is still very competitive. With the new rule change, we hope we have a possibility to catch up.
Will there be any new cars coming up in the future?
As it stands right now, we do not have a new car available at this moment, but the factory is always looking around and see what is possible, if they can do certain things.
I see. So at the moment, they're probably designing another car in
Well, I wouldn't say so.
No.
But we're always doing something, you know. Porsche is never staying still, and racing is our nature. So I hope pretty soon we will have something to be out there with something more exotic. I slowly believe that you cannot make rules for water engines and air engines. You have to more specify the cars, because every car or every engine has a special nature, a special technical thing which another engine doesn't have, so it gives them an advantage here. And you can't equalize them all, you know.
Oh, something I didn't understand. Are the Porsche engines air-cooled?
Yeah, we're running air-cooled engine, the 911 turbo engine, which is a 1962 engine, or 1960.
The ones in the 962?
Yes.
I see.
Which was originally developed, is basically the same engine as the 911 if you find it in a street car. And I mean, it's an old engine, but it's a very well designed engine, so it's still very usable.
The endurance, that's
Yes,
what you designed for, and Porsche's got the great
Right.
endurance side.
Well, Terry, we haven't talked about a race within a race, the smaller Camel Lights.
Yeah, the Camel Lights car are quite an interesting class. They race at the same time the GTPs do. And what car is this right coming in now?
This is the Terry Visker Pontiac Firebird.
Yes, the Pontiac Firebirds are just a new version of the Pontiac Pharaohs that raced the last few years. They're very nice cars. The bodywork is a lot more aerodynamic.
You notice it's only a small four-cylinder engine. It can be a maximum of 3 liters, but there are no turbochargers in this class.
That is a rotary that just went by. And here we have Sarah Vandermeer passing a light. You can see the acceleration as the Corvette goes by.
Yes, you notice they're passing just on a corner, but a Camel Light car, depending on the course, can be just as fast going around the corners, but does not have the acceleration they do down the straights.
We're looking here at the David Lorning Tiga Buick, I believe, and there is a Pontiac Firebird also. These cars handle very well on a lot of courses. Some courses, I think, almost fast as GTP car.
That was Scott Schubot and Linda Littleman.
Here they have bits. We have David Lorning again. Here we have Jim Downey coming in for a very quick fuel stop.
Put in just a gallon.
Yes, they're just going in for a quick splash of fuel during qualifying. There they're out again. They can accelerate from 0 to 100 almost as fast as a GTP car, but they don't have the long-range endurance down the straights.
Jim Downing, who drives this car, has won the series for quite a few years, and I believe that maybe we should go and talk to him.
Yeah, let's go talk to Jim.
Okay, I'm talking to Jim Downing, the driver of the Master Rotary car here. And last year, we saw Jim win this race, and I'd like to ask Jim how he expects to do this weekend here.
Well, I think they brought 5 Pontiacs to make sure I'm not going to win the race this year. Pontiac went into the points lead in the Manufacturers' Championship over Buick and Mazda. Mazda is second right now, and I think they're going after pretty hard, so I may have a tough time hanging in there this year.
You're going to have to work this weekend and get through it and hope for the best.
Well, yeah, of course, we're trying some new things ourselves, and we hope to be there. We've got a new sponsor this year, in Panasonic, and that's really helped us out a lot, been able to try some things.
Very good. Well, I really hope you do really well this weekend, and just give her the best drive you can, and keep at her.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
We're talking to David Loring, Camel Lights Racing. Hi, David.
Nice to meet you.
Pleased to meet you. Have you ever raced in Canada?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have raced in Canada. As I started racing, the United States wouldn't allow us to run in the United States under 21. Now they've changed the rules, so I commuted to Canada every weekend. As a matter of fact, I won the Canadian National Championship for Formula Fords in 1971 at Westwood, British Columbia.
How are you doing currently in the standings for Camel Lights?
We're running real well. My co-driver's leading the series. I'm running 4th, and we had an accident earlier in the year and rode off our #1 car, and we've had a problem getting the new car up to speed, but we're running real good, thanks.
I see you're racing a Buick motor.
Yeah, they are unbelievable. It's a Buick motor that's manufactured, that's built by a guy in San Antonio, Texas, called Mike Lozano, and they're fantastic motors. He does a really good job.
I see. Is it basically a stock block?
Yeah, it's totally a stock configuration. V6 fuel-injected 3-liter motor. It's a really good power plant. Yeah, unbelievably reliable.
It's a 3-liter V6. So what would you have to do to upgrade your car to a GTP?
Make a bigger motor, basically. They're allowed to be 5 liters or 4.5 liters turbocharged, and we just have to get a bigger block.
How are you doing there with Jim Downing in those?
Well, right now, Jim qualified ahead of us this weekend. He's the guy that obviously we're concerned. We've beat him most of the races this year, and he's just got a hand on us right now.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, David.
Thank you. Okay.
Let's spend the time. Good night.
Take care.
Let us look at the revised Ford Probe.
Hello, we're talking to Tom Pompelli, driver of the Ford GTP. Can you give me a little description about this Ford GTP, Tom, please?
Well, it's a 4-cylinder turbocharged GTP car. It's a 3-piece modular chassis made mostly out of carbon fiber. The engine makes about 700 horsepower, and the car weighs about 1,950 pounds.
What do you expect the top speed on this track to be of this car?
I think we figured today about 190 miles per hour.
Presently, you're qualified at 16th position. How many positions do you figure you'll move up?
I would hope we'd be in the top 10, possibly the top 8. I think we've been close to the top 7 or 8 positions last few races.
Yes, I've noticed in the last couple of races that you've been as high as 4th place.
That's right.
Realistically, can you win a race?
Well, anything happens in racing. We'd have to have some luck to do that. I think by the end of the season, we'll get a little more power out of these cars, and we've done a lot of work on the chassis lately. Every race we go to, we get a little more competitive. We have a little more downforce each time. I think our times and speeds and finishing positions show it. We finished the races now, which is something that wasn't happening previously with these cars. The engines will go 3 hours, and in fact, we've had some of these engines now run 8 hours in race form. So I think we have dependability, and our times are going to be a little better every race.
That's very good for a 3-year-old car.
The car actually was designed 3 years ago, but these cars have been modified pretty substantially since Milner got a hold of them. And over the winter, we will modify them some more. These cars still need a complete new body assembly for the rear, and I think we're going to do a little more suspension work on them. We may put bigger tunnels on them, and if we can get in a wind tunnel, I think we'll maybe change the nose piece around a little bit. But I would expect these are still going to be good cars next year. They're still state-of-the-art. There are very few cars here that are carbon fiber. This one is. The tub is, and the front nose box assembly is carbon fiber. The rear chassis component, which is the under tray, is carbon fiber, this piece. And there's nothing on these cars really that's outdated. If you look at some of the 962 Porsches, those things date back to 1983 and 84 as well. And the only real new cars out here, I think, are the Lolas, the Nissan, and the Chevy Corvettes.
What do you think of the Nissan?
phenomenal. There's no other word to describe it.
I hope they don't have the same problem that the McLarens had in the late 60s, and they won every race and nobody wanted to show up at the races.
Well, I think IMSA recognizes that's a problem in their GTP class. If one car runs away from it, it tends to limit the entries. So they've, as you probably know, imposed some penalties on the GTP cars that are running real strong. They've also changed the rules for next year and announced what some of those changes tentatively will be. So I think what IMSA is going to do is they're going to try to make American V8 engines more competitive. I think they're going to give us an advantage because we do have a 4-cylinder engine. It's the only one in the series. And we have a very difficult time getting torque off the turns. It's really the area that our car is the slowest. So I would expect that we'll be in the front of some races by the end of this year, and I would think we'd have a good season next year. We're formulating some plans now to go to Le Mans. We should be able to make an announcement on that in a week or so.
That's very good. Sounds very good. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Thank you.
Good luck, Chris.
It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and we have the early morning practice.
Yes, we see the Dyson number 16 Blowpunk Porsche leaving the pits.
Yes, I believe this car is getting set up. I'm not quite sure how it's going to do in qualifying, but I believe they'll really do their best.
Yes, I believe, Terry, at the moment they're the fastest Porsche in the field, and I actually predict that they'll probably qualify fastest of the Porsches.
I think Bob Wallach's doing pretty well. There's the probe going out in the Mazda Argo. And here comes Chip Robson. Very good driver. He's won the championship in the last while. Maybe you could tell us more about Chip there, Bob.
Yes, this is last year's race winner, driving last year's race-winning car. You'll notice the look and concern on Chip's face. He's not doing very well. This is the second car that he's been in today's practice session, and hopefully this car will run better than the new one they brought up.
I understand those last few races, he just hasn't been up there, and this must be very disappointing to the young man, Chip. He's a nice person. I talked to him earlier. I see they took the number, the stripes off the number there, and the car's going on. I hope it does well in his practice.
Yes, I hope so. Actually, the El Holberg racing team hasn't done very well at all this season. They've had some problems, Lime Rock bashing into a few Jaguars and stuff.
You know, this is the way racing can go. One year you can do really well. Here we have Chip Robson in turn 1. This is a beautiful course down here in Portland, and we look at the track. We have a series of turns. It's very good for spectators.
Yes, that Chip Robson Porsche that he's driving has run about 15 or 20 races in IMSA. It's got to be the record-holding Porsche.
There's fancy camera work by our cameraman Bob Jackson.
Well, thank you.
Here we have Jan Lammers and the 61 Jaguar, and this car handles very well. It's got stiff suspension, so it bounces around quite a bit. Some cars, you don't bounce around quite as much, like this.
Yeah, you notice the Nissan is just gliding through the corners, hardly bouncing at all.
Yeah, it's quite a car. There's the Momo March Buick. This car is a GTP car. It used to be the BMW car.
Yes, that beautiful Nissan.
Yes, and there's also the nice Blowpunk team. They're a good team.
But I don't know, out of all the cars in the Ford Probe, it's got the sleekest lines.
I hear that's been aerodynamically tested. Here we have the Winds Porsche, the turbo flash, and that's caused by gas left in the exhaust. Right now, going around, and it's a team, and they're getting up to faster times. The Camel Lights car. There not too many of them this year, the Camel Lights. And we have Price Cobb also again. His time's getting faster. I do not know what car that is. It's doing quite well. There we have Bobby Rahal going through. And why don't we go down and talk to Price Cobb in the pits?
Okay, I'm talking to Price Cobb of the Blowpunk Porsche here in the 962, and I just want to ask Price a few questions here. Can you tell me how you're doing today, first of all?
Well, we're doing all right. This year it's very difficult to really compete against the Nissans. So this morning when everyone was on what I might consider race setup, we were third quickest behind the two Nissans. And this afternoon, just before now, we ended up sixth quickest, but I know the Jaguars at least were on qualifying tires, which they won't be able to use in a minute. So, you know, we're right there.
So things can change around quite a bit there?
Yeah, they can change a lot in the next few minutes. I still feel, though, the Nissans, they have so much in hand over everybody else that they're likely to be first and second.
So I guess everyone's hoping that they just have some kind of reliability problem or something like that?
Yeah, that's really the only way that we can honestly beat them, because they have 2 seconds in hand over any of the other cars. So short of their failing, we can't outrun them.
Yeah. I want to ask you about Le Mans. How was that drive for you there?
That was really good. Working with the Jaguar people was wonderful. The car was, different than the Porsche. They really set it up for straight line speed, so, it was an interesting car to drive.
Do you find much difference between the Jag and the Porsches?
Well, yeah, some, but in all fairness, because the car was set up different in Le Mans, mainly for no downforce and a lot of straight line speed, you can't really compare them, but it seems that it's physically easier to drive, but technically more difficult, so it's a difference.
What do you like, the short sprint races like this or the endurance racing?
Well, with the Porsche, I kind of prefer medium-length races because it gives us a shot. We're fast enough to more or less stay in the hunt, but the car was built to be an endurance racer. So when they keep shortening those races, the car wasn't meant to do that, so it's very hard for us.
That's very interesting. So you've come a long way since Westwood back in the 70s and that, and how much longer do you think you'd like to keep racing?
Until I'm 45.
45 yeah. There, and what do you think you'll do after that?
Nothing, play.
Play and take it easy?
Yeah.
And well, I just want to thank you for this short little time with us, and hope you qualify well. Give the Nissans a real good push there.
Yeah, we'll try our best, and thanks for having me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Good luck today.
Back on the pit straight, here we have the Momo Buick March, and they're adjusting the wing angle. They're going to adjust the wing angle so they can probably get more downforce on this track, as the corners are quite tight at the end of the long straight.
You'll notice that some of the wings are attached to the bodies and others aren't.
Yes, in this car, they're attached at the end of the car, and they place them far behind so that the airflow is smoothed out. This is the BF Goodrich team.
Yes, it's a Porsche 962, and notice that they're changing the wing angle too, putting more downforce on it.
The Nissan again, and the rear deck and the wing there, the very steep flap on the wing. We see the adjustments where it's possible to be made right there.
Yes, this wing is actually part of the body on the car and is very low.
And here we have someone taking the tire temperature here. They have many technicians here this weekend of the tire teams, and Goodyear here, they're just testing it so that they can just see what the temperature of the tire is so they can give the right tire to the team.
Yes, auto racing is quite a science, and who'd ever believe that you actually check the temperature on car tires? But they actually can tell if the compounds are warming up or what's going on, and for qualifying or for race day, they can prepare the car properly.
As you see the cars here, they're wiggling back and forth. No, they're not drunk. They're just warming up the tires. Cold tires, the cars just don't have the handling that they would when they're warm.
No, they don't. Actually, these tires, they're slicks, and they're very slippery, and if a car was to accelerate on a cold engine and cold tires, probably wouldn't make it around the first corner.
And here we have one of the mechanics looking at the rear end, changing gear ratios. And as he's doing this, he knows, talking to the driver, which is the best gear ratio set for this kind of course.
Yes, typically a team may have as many as 20 different gear ratios. Portland having a long straightaway, they'll put on a different gear ratio than a track that has lots of windy turns like Monterey or Laguna Seca.
Yes, that's true, and as he's putting on the fork shifter there, and I think it's quite a skill. These mechanics really know what they're doing and just know what ratio is the best one to have.
Yes, if you'll notice, there's so many parts involved in this kind of these things. I don't know how they even know which way they go in, upside down, backwards, but they all seem to get them together properly.
Yes, and we're looking at the rear end of the Jaguar here, and you can see the Venturi tunnels, and the mechanics working on the gearbox here, cleaning it. Cleanliness in these pits is incredible. There's no such thing as grease in GTP racing.
No, you could actually literally eat off the pan underneath that, the rear end of the transmission there.
I see the rear end of the Corvette, and they're putting in the last bolt before they put the cover on and torquing it up to high torque, as these engines have 800 horsepower, and so you don't mess around with the rear end.
It's Saturday morning, time for some qualifying. This year it's going to be a little different. Instead of single car qualifying where there's only one or two cars on the track at any one time and you only get one chance to qualify, this year all the cars can go out on the track and go around as many times as they want to.
Yes, like the practice, you know, they just now try to get her up to the best speed they can do in a certain amount of time that they have, 3 or 4 laps.
Well, they can go in and out of the pits as many times as they want to. And remember, later on this afternoon, the top 6 cars will have a chance to qualify again.
Yes, and there goes the Jag team out. They very well prepared team, and Bobby Ray Hall going out, I believe.
Yes, the Jaguars, apparently they're using the new Dunlop qualifying tires. If they use these tires, they can't use them in the race.
There's Chip Robinson going out, and I hope that he does really well. The engine still doesn't sound as good as the other Andile prepared Porsches.
Yes, the Dunlop racing tires, they're very soft, and they wouldn't even last more than half a dozen or so laps at race speeds.
Yes, and here we have the long straightaway, and we see the Ford Probe going out accelerating. This long straightaway is almost, I believe, 3/4 of a mile long, and they could accelerate up to about 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, we were talking to Tom Propeller earlier. He figured they could probably do 190, 195. There's the Ball Brothers Racing Fiero. They've had bad luck this weekend. We've only seen them on the track a few times. They haven't got the car going very well after they blew their engine yesterday's practice.
Here you have Bobby Hall following Jan Lammers, or is that Martin Brundle? We'll see next time around.
Yes, this qualifying is getting very exciting. The cars are going fast, and this vantage point on the straightaway is unreal. This is what the spectators see at the racetrack.
Yes, it is a nice place to view the race. It's hard to view the race sometimes, know what's going on, because you get those back corners, and that's why it's good to watch on ESPN sometimes.
Yes, and we see Jeff Brabham. He's finally going out, along with Bob Wallach.
Yeah, Bob Wallach's accelerating down there, and I really believe it's probably him and the Dyson team are the top Porsche positions.
I actually think the Dyson team, which we're seeing here now, will probably qualify fastest. They're by far the best Porsche prepared team here.
Yes, very professional team. And here we have the cars going down the straights, and we're just shots of them, the speed that they go by at and the sound they make. This is real racing when you're here at the track, the smell and the noises.
Yes, Jeff Brabham, that's John Morton in the number 84 Nissan. I don't expect him to qualify quite as good as Jeff Brabham, but he's doing great.
That Electromotive team has sure done its homework over the last few years, is preparing this car in order to dominate so much this year.
Yes, well, they're hoping to make this the 6th straight win for the Nissan team. It's amazing.
That's phenomenal. 6 races and 6 wins there. And there we have the Dyson and that Ball Brothers car there going down the track. I think maybe that's the way we'll come here next time. I'm standing in the Jim Downing pits here, and we're now watching the Camel Lights qualifications now, and we'll see how fast and just where they'll place.
Yes, these are the timing towers where the crews sit and watch the timings.
Here we have number 4.
It's Scott Schubot and Linda Ludelman's SNL Racing Buick Spice.
Here comes Jim Downing in his car, and for qualifications, they want the car as light as possible. They're just putting a splash of fuel to go back out for a couple more laps.
Yes, they probably only put half a gallon or a gallon in.
Yes, they've been known to run out of gas on the track before, and then it's a very long walk to the pits for the driver.
Well, it's Saturday noon. It's time for the Kodak Pit Crew competition against number 15, the Collision Porsche 962 crew, and the number 83, Don Devendorf Electromotive Nissan GTP ZX Turbo.
Well, these crews really prepare a lot for these races, and as we see now, the Collision team, we have the inspector looking at the car right now. They're about ready to go. We'll see them jump into action in a flash of a second.
Yes, they're going to actually change the driver. It's going to be a full contest. Notice quickly, you'll notice they're changing the driver.
Something is not quite right here.
Yeah, the jacks aren't going up. What's wrong?
Not quite sure. Looking at it, and no, the tires aren't coming off. What a drag! This team is trying so hard.
The Nissan looks like the Nissan's finished. 17-point-something seconds. The Nissan's finished.
Jacks are just starting to go up now. Those would have probably been a really good change for the Collision team.
That's too bad. Oh well.
Heartbreak hotel. Well, we're looking here at the torque wrenching of the wheel nuts, and there's John Morton.
Yes, they're inspecting it to make sure that it's official. Once he's going to say if it's good, it's good.
Yes, we have a large cash prize, so they want to make it as tight as possible. Looks like a good one.
Yes, Nissan have won.
And there's the whole pit crew team gathered together, and they really deserve this reward and recognition for this work.
That's Don Dever. Check.
Yes, it's a large check, as I can see, eh? And now I think You should go talk to Jeff Brabham. Last year, Jeff Brabham had dominated this race all the way up until, I believe, the 83rd lap, and then he overheated, and he was really disappointed at the end of the race. It's a shame. You know, this car last year, just reliability problems, forced it out so many times. But this year, it's doing so well. And we look at the team there, I think they're satisfied. And there's that beautiful 83 team. There he is, going around the track. Let's go talk to him.
Saw your disappointment after trying very hard in this race, and you kept at her. And now I see that you're doing very well, and I'm very glad to see that your patience paid off there. How do you feel about all that?
Well, I think last year's history now, and you know, we're running very well at the moment, and you know, we're going to try and win this race, as we failed to do it the last 2 years where I felt we had a chance. So, you know, we're out to win the race. There's no question about that.
All right. Is every race a whole new ball game, or how do you handle that?
Yeah, it's a whole new ball game. We treat every race separately, and as far as what's happened in the past is history, and it doesn't help us right now. So we just concentrate on every race and treat it all the same.
So there's a lot of mental and spiritual preparation for doing this?
Well, it's a lot of hard work, that's for sure, and the crew have been working extremely hard, and Nissan's been running very well, so, you know, we've had a little bit of luck thrown in, so, you know, things are going well for us right now.
Well, I'm very glad to see that you've got success now, and hope it continues on. They're probably throwing roadblocks in your way now. You're doing so well, and I just hope you keep up with it.
Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay. Thanks for your time.
Well, it's Sunday morning. Let's go into the Nissan pits, Terry.
Yes, we're looking at the car and the jack stands there, and the cars have been thoroughly going over, checking everything out, make sure it will endure in this race this afternoon.
Yeah, since they've been working on the Nissan since 1985, Nissan is doing approximately 75 to 80% of all the bodywork on the car now.
Nissan is doing that now, is it?
Yes, the Don Devendorf Electromotive team are doing it.
Oh, yes, I see. We're looking at the back Venturi tunnels as well as the jacking up point there.
Yes, sure. One little air hose in and the whole car is jacked up. It's great.
The film crew for the Nissan company is now filming ads for this.
Yes, there's several crews on location. You'll see them very soon on national TV.
Probably so. We're looking at the back end of the car with all its bodywork back on. As you can see, large vents and holes on the car. These vents and holes are all designed to give maximum downforce. This car has been tested many times aerodynamically in a wind tunnel to get tons of downforce.
Well, it looks like it's getting ready for its early morning pre-race warm-up. Crowds are starting to gather around this racetrack.
Yes, the tension's starting to get really a lot here, and the stress. I'm sure that all the pit crews and the drivers and what have you have a hard time. We'll go talk to the man of Motorsports Ministries to get a different perspective.
Okay, it's Terry Jackson, Sunday morning at the PIR track. We are now standing outside of the Motorsports Ministries. It is Sunday morning, and just like any other place, believers, Christians come together. They pray to one God there, and just take time out for what the real purpose of what a believer here is doing on this planet here. Important things people do is just take that time to be at peace and just to consider in perspective what this is all about. And that. In a moment, I'm going to talk to the Reverend here. And I'm talking here to Richard Anderson of Motorsport Ministries there. I'd just like to ask you a few questions, if I may, Richard. How long have you been doing this ministry?
Well, I've been involved in it since 1984. I started out then. People say, how do you get started? I kind of saw a need. Nobody was doing anything like this, and so I just kind of stepped in and created it. So I didn't really take over. I just kind of started it from nothing.
Right. Well, I guess this is so much activity going on here, and I guess people can get way out there and the competition and everything and forget about the real basic perspective, what we're doing here on this planet. Maybe you could elaborate on that.
Well, racers are just like everybody else. They're people. And in that, they have certain needs, and certainly they have spiritual needs. And as well as that, there's a lot of racers that are Christians that feel very badly that because of their sport, or in many cases on this level, their profession, they're unable to be at a normal church service, not only because they're traveling on the road all the time, but also that the time frame doesn't fit with normal time frames of church services. And so we've brought the ministry to the track. and have created a chapel service here at early Sunday mornings before things get going, so that people can plug in and be a part and receive the ministry of the Word of God on a Sunday morning and still participate in the sport of motor racing.
Do you travel around all the tracks in the year?
Yes, I travel to all the tracks where the Camel GT circuit goes. I personally do them all with the IMSA circuit. Motorsports Ministries also oversees chapel services at the Trans Am circuit, and also a lot of the SCCA regional races across the country. And we're on the verge of branching into some other areas right now too. And then there are other people. There's about 7 other people that work with me, or we're with Motorsports Ministries in doing chapel services across the country at road racing.
I guess you're quite familiar with a lot of the drivers, mechanics, and the people there, and I guess if somebody's going through problems or what have you, you can minister to them.
Yeah, that's part of being on the circuit, is you build relationship, you get to know them, so that they're a lot freer to come and talk to you when there is a struggle. They're not coming to a stranger, they're coming to somebody they know.
Oh, that's very good. Well, this is a very interesting thing, and I'm really glad to see you doing it, and I want to thank you very much for doing this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, Richard.
Okay.
Nice.
Goodbye.
God bless you.
Thank you very much.
In auto racing, to run a large sport like this, races across the country, large advertisers are needed to keep it going. Camel GT has sponsored this race for a number of years now. As we see, they have a large tent here. They're giving out their products, hats, and T-shirts.
Yes, as you say, Camel has sponsored them since the inception of the GT series, and every year they bring out a different product. Last year they were giving out hats. This year they're giving out T-shirts and posters. In here we see that they're selling all sorts of products. They take Visa and MasterCard in case you haven't got any money in your pocket.
Yes, and in the expo area we'll come to here, there's a lot of people having their products, automobile products, and they're giving them away, free samples to the public going around.
Yes, it's nice to see. These people actually pay to show off their products. It's great.
Bobby Rahal here. I'd like to ask you a few questions, Bobby, if I may. Can you tell me how you're doing this year in your IMSA racing?
Well, I've only done 2 races. We were running very well in West Palm Beach, and we had a wheel break on us with about 10 minutes to go. So as of yet, we've yet to finish one, but we'll change that today.
I understand you raced at Westwood in Canada a few years ago. What class was that you're racing in?
Formula Atlantic, raced there in 75, 6, 7, and 8, I guess. So 10 years ago was the last time.
Very interesting. How do you find racing in that class and this class?
No, that was so long ago. It's very different.
You also have raced in you raced in IndyCar as well during this year and that. Which one do you prefer, the Indy or the IMSA?
I prefer the Indy cars. I mean, I like the IMSA cars. There's nothing wrong with them. But I think the Indianapolis car is just, you know, it's a pure racing car, I guess. It's single seat and no fender. I mean, it's a minimum of a lot of things, and it's you know, just built for one thing, and that's to go fast.
Do you like the do you like the Porsche 962C, Corvette? Which is your favorite car in that one?
Well, I don't know if I have any favorites. I had very good luck with the Porsches in the past. They certainly, the turbocharged cars got a little bit of an advantage. The Corvette's normally aspirated, so it's a little bit more work, but I enjoy both cars.
So just for today, how are you, what kind of plan do you have for this afternoon's race?
I just got to go run hard. Run hard.
Okay, thank you very much, Bobby, for your time.
Thank you. The excitement's starting to build as the crowd gathers for today's race.
Yeah, as we look, there's going to be a lot of people here, I think, this afternoon.
Yes. Yeah, the crowds are building really big now.
Yeah, so we're going back into the pit there, and you see the cars are starting now to come out to form on the grid.
Yeah, this is the Tom Hessert number 9 Buick Tiga.
Yes, they have to drive through traffic. Here comes Price Cobb's car, the Blowpunk Dyson Porsche.
Yeah, that, and the next, the beautiful Parrot Momo Buick March.
Yes, and you just see all the people there now, and this is going to be a great event inside.
That's for sure. There's people all over.
It's a nice color there. Yeah. And here we have the SBN crew, and to take pictures about where they do, they have to wear fire suits, same as the drivers and the pit crew.
Yes, they have over 16 cameras on the track, plus all sorts of satellite equipment to broadcast this show live today.
Yes, a lot of equipment, a lot of expense gone to bring you this race.
Yes, it's going to be very exciting. They're going to have all sorts of things.
That's a novel way to get your tires around.
That's for sure. This is Terry Visker's Pontiac Firebird number 55.
Boy, it's a lot more crowded than the practice sessions that were here earlier.
That's for sure. Everybody's excited. The race is going to be going in a couple of minutes.
It's a typical race fan here.
Bob Wallach brings his car out of the pits. They're getting ready to go into the grid now for starting the race.
We're down at turn 1 now for the official pace lap. Here comes the pace car and the Nissans on the front row. And they're just warming up their tires to start this great race today.
Yes, we have 18 GTP cars and 11 Camel Lights. This is the biggest field we've ever seen here.
It's quite amazing. Last year was only 7 GTPs and a few lights, and this is a big field. I think we'll see a really good race, and there's some cars there. You know, things could change then. This end might have dominated, but who knows this time?
That's for sure.
We're looking at the last few of the GT Lights cars coming around, and we'll see the next racing lap coming around. The green flag should fall.
Well, the Nissan takes a big lead. You'll notice.
Yes, it is. Look at that gap. It's already a couple seconds, followed by Bob Wallach, followed by Price Cobb, Jan Lammers.
Jan Lammers is just spun on turn 1.
Oh, boy, he did, yeah. Okay. And there's Chip Robinson, and here comes the second lap. It's look at the gap that Jeff has got right there now.
Yeah, that's quite a big gap. That's almost 5 seconds.
Yes, and here comes Bryce Cobb, followed by Jan Lammers. And
no, that's not Jan. That was
Martin Brundle.
Martin Brundle.
Oh, the Corvettes are coming around. Here comes the Probe, Momo Buick, and another Probe. And
where's the Jaguar? The Jaguar is way back. There it comes.
There's the Jaguar right behind there, yes.
He's way behind.
And here comes Jeff again, and he's got a lead now of probably about 3 or 4 seconds, and that's 3 laps. It's quite incredible. There's John Morton's fallen behind quite a bit, and the Corvettes are keeping steady in there. I wonder how the Probe will do today. It'll be interesting to see if they got the torque around the corners that they were talking about.
Probably finish in the top 6, I would say.
Yes, yeah. And is that Martin Brundle? Is that Jaguar there?
No, that's John Lammers. It's after the
quite
spin.
A train. Quite a train of cars going there. Boy, they're sure moving down this section of track at turn 3.
Yeah, they're really moving a lot faster than they did in practice, aren't they? They're really moving.
Oh, there we go. And there's Price Cobb there. Should be interesting to see which position he'll place it.
Hopefully he'll be in the top 3, maybe in the top 2.
Yes. Oh, it's getting really tight, and here comes Jeff now passing one of the back markers.
This is by about lap 10 or so he's doing this.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast they can build up speed, these cars.
As he passes them in the corner.
Yeah, we're watching there. Oh, there's John Morton, and we have GT Lights being passed by...
Oh, Bob Earl spun in his car.
Oh, that is quite a beautiful car, those new Firebirds.
Yeah, they're unreal looking. Jan Lammers racing away, trying to catch up the space he's lost. He's moving up quite fast.
Yes, you know, they're good drivers. Different style of driving the English drivers have there.
Yeah, that's Blowpunk Racing Porsche doing really well as he passes.
Well, there comes Jeff again, and he's got open road, it looks like, again.
Yes, Jeff's got a big lead here, and right behind him, Bob Wallach, and then the number 16 Dyson Racing Porsche in 3rd position.
That Bob Wallach is sure a good driver. The way he consistently places in the top 2 or 3 a lot of races.
Yes, Bob Wallach and Price Cobb. Actually, Price Cobb and Bob Wallach are about the same level of driving competition.
Is that Bobby Rahal going down there?
Yes.
Now, Price Cobb followed by John Morton there. It's quite a race between the 2 of them there.
Yes, Tom Hessert in the Ford Probe.
Yes, Price Cobb's co-driver is James Weaver, and he's probably in the pits there now, just waiting to get in the car during the pit stop.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at it.
There's James right there now. Yes, let's go talk to him.
I wanted to ask you about, you're going to drive for Mercedes for Le Mans.
Yeah, we were going to race there this year, but we had a tyre problem, so we had to withdraw. Which is very disappointing, but Jaguar had a great run there, and Price drove for Jaguar and really enjoyed it.
I'm sorry to hear that. It's a disappointment to you. And now the compound was not the right compound for the tires?
No, it's a combination of problems. That they'd resurfaced the main straight, and it used to be very bumpy. So when you used to go down there, the car used to jump up and down a lot, and so the download was never really filled up that much. You're always bleeding it off.
Right.
And with a new surface, you got a perfect seal, and you'll be rush off down there at 220 miles an hour, making thousands of pounds of downforce, and of course you're just overloading the tires. So basically we went there with the wrong package, and it was too much for the tire. We didn't have the right tire, we didn't have the right car. Whichever way you look at it, they didn't work together, so we had to withdraw.
There's Jeff Brabham pulling a big lead of 40 seconds over second place Bob Wallach, and we have Barbara Ray Hall, I believe, is 2 laps down.
There we see Price Cobb currently in 3rd position.
They're running pretty well today.
Yes, followed in 4th place by Jan Lammers. Jan Lammers all the way up to 4th place already. That's very good.
Yes, and John Graham, I believe, is probably in about 5th place. Chip Robinson leaving the pits. His car has not been sounding good. He's not doing too well.
No, that's for sure. Chip's had some bad luck. His car's misfiring badly. He just can't seem to get the completely speed from the car.
Yeah, we're looking here at the Bullpunk Dyson team pit there, and they're just all getting ready now for Price's pit stop.
That's James Weaver putting on his gloves, got his helmet on. He's ready to jump into the car. There's Pat Smith. It looks like there's going to be a pit stop soon. Let's get ready.
Believe it. Yeah, we'll just watch and see what kind of time they have on this stop. Yeah. There goes Jeff Brabham out on his stop. Quick stop for him.
We're taking the tire warmers off the car. The idea of these is to keep the tires warm. Otherwise, the car won't handle properly.
Okay, at any time now, they're coming in.
Pat Smith, he's there. He looks like he's ready to stop the car. The cone's up. Here they come.
Okay,
let's time them.
The driver orchestrated this team that really works well together.
In goes James Weaver. Pat Smith, there he is, directing him.
It takes a little time to change drivers. It's more time to stop and just fuel the tires.
Yeah, okay, the door's shut, the driver's in. Clean the windshield. Set your timer, get out of there, ESPN.
Just 25 seconds.
25 seconds, that was not bad.
Not bad for driver change. Here comes Price Cobb of his car now, and he'll be talking to ESPN, and then we'll probably talk to him right after that. You see the ESPN crew there, the familiar people that you know on television.
Yeah. Price is going to talk to Pat Smith, and that'll be it. We'll talk to him now.
Okay.
Okay, it's Terry Jackson talking to Price Cobb just after his pit stop. How you doing out there now?
Well, we seem to be going quite well. It's a close race between us and the Jaguars. The Nissan seem to have it their own way, which is what we expected. But, you know, we're pretty excited because the Nissan's truly in a class of its own. So as far as we're concerned, we're leading our class, even though we're all technically in the same class, so we're happy.
James is out there now, and the car's doing pretty good right now, is it?
Yeah, we're real happy. It's, you know, we've always had a tough time at this track, and if we can hold on for third, I'll be very happy.
Okay, well, thanks again.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Okay, Jeff Brabham there leading again, and he's got a great lead. I really believe he's going to win this race now.
That's Martin Brundle driving the Castro.
Martin Brundle, what position is he in?
James Weaver driving the new car now. This laps. The Jag's right behind him now.
It's not running too well, the Dyson car. Slow it down. It'll be interesting to see what's going on here the next lap around. So Martin Brundle,
they're getting closer. Look how close he is. He's right on his tail. Oh no, there's problems.
Right
Dyson's in trouble. Look at
what's going on here.
Getting close. Oh, he's passing him.
Is that a pass?
It looks like a pass. Yeah,
we got a pass there.
Oh,
so he drops down. Oh, he comes in now.
James Weaver's on his way in. What's he going to do?
Pat Smith at the door there, and I do believe he's just turning the turbo boost up a little bit.
The car's misfiring. Can you hear it misfire? Look at this. It takes off.
Oh, yes. The note's a little bit sour there.
That's too bad. It looks like Lammers is in 4th position now.
It's, well, you know, it happens. And there is the Price Cobb out on the wall there making remarks to his co-driver, James Weaver. And the checkered flag is, and Jeff Brabham wins the 1988 Portland IMSA GTP.
Gut full of brake dust.
Right. Oh no.
So,
yeah.
Disappointing, but could have been worse.
Okay, well, thanks again, James, for all your help in the weekend and the good drive in there.
When will we see you again?
Probably a year.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's the Portland race is supposed to be every time can't afford to drive around too much. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys again. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we do better next time.